The message arrived on a Tuesday. Every screen on Earth showed the same image at once: a tall, gray-skinned alien with 4 eyes and a mouth full of sharp teeth. Admiral John Mercer stood in the United Earth Defense Headquarters, his hands clasped behind his back as he watched. Around him, world leaders and military officials held their breath. "People of Earth," the alien said in a voice that had been translated to English, "I am High Commander Vexlor of the Zhorek Empire. We control 700 star systems across this galaxy. Your planet is now under our protection." President Olivia Garner, a woman with short brown hair and a stern face, stepped forward. "What does that mean exactly, Commander?" The alien's upper eyes blinked slowly. "It means you will pay us tribute, 30% of all Earth's resources each year. In return, we will not destroy your civilization." The room erupted in angry voices. Admiral Mercer remained silent, studying the alien's face on the screen. "And if we refuse?" President Garner asked. "Then we will occupy your planet and take what we want. You have 90 days to prepare your first payment." The screen went black. 3 hours later, in the underground war room beneath Washington, D.C., Earth's Defense Council gathered. Maps of the solar system glowed on large screens. Coffee cups sat untouched on the round table. "Can we fight them?" President Garner asked. General Frank Miller shook his head. "Our public fleet has only 200 ships. Based on their transmission, the Zhorek Empire must have thousands." "What about our hidden fleet?" Admiral Mercer spoke for the first time. President Garner looked at the others in the room. "Clear the room. Only level 10 clearance stays." When only 7 people remained, the president nodded to Mercer. "Go ahead, John." Admiral Mercer touched a pad on the table. A new map appeared, showing secret bases throughout the solar system, inside asteroids, on moons, hidden in gas giant clouds. "Since we found that alien outpost on Mars 45 years ago, we've been building. The Phoenix Protocol has been in effect since then." He looked at each face around the table. "We don't have 200 ships. We have 500,000. Silence filled the room. Director Samantha Reeves finally spoke. "The Zhorek don't know about Phoenix Protocol. They think we're just another helpless planet." "They're wrong," Admiral Mercer said. "We've been preparing for this day since before I was born." President Garner stood up. "So what do you suggest, Admiral?" "We play along. We act scared. We ask for a meeting to discuss the tribute." A small smile appeared on his face. "And then we show them exactly what humanity does when backed into a corner." The next day, a young lieutenant named Paul Winters received new orders. He stared at his tablet in disbelief before rushing to the transport that would take him to Luna Base. As the shuttle left Earth's atmosphere, he could see the blue planet below, peaceful and beautiful. Most people there had no idea what was coming. At Luna Base, thousands of soldiers and pilots were getting similar orders. Deep in the asteroid belt, massive hangars opened for the first time. On Mars, underground factories increased production of weapons and shields. 1 week after the alien message, Earth sent its reply. On the screen, President Garner looked appropriately worried and defeated. "High Commander Vexlor, Earth accepts your terms. We request a meeting at our orbit station to discuss the tribute transfer." The alien commander's face showed satisfaction. "A wise decision. We will arrive in 30 days. After the transmission ended, President Garner turned to Admiral Mercer. "Operation Thunderbolt is now active. May God help us all." Admiral Mercer nodded. "The Zhorek think they're getting tribute. Instead, they're going to learn a lesson about humanity that the galaxy won't soon forget." In space docks across the solar system, engines began to power up. Earth's hidden fleet was awakening. Lieutenant Paul Winters walked through the massive underground hangar on Luna. Ships stretched as far as he could see. Not the public fleet ships everyone knew about, but the secret ones. The real fleet, sleek destroyers, massive carriers, and nimble fighters filled the space. Workers moved around them like ants, loading weapons and checking systems. "First time seeing the full Phoenix fleet?" asked a voice behind him. Paul turned to see Director Samantha Reeves. Her gray uniform showed her high rank, and the scars on her face told of battles long past. "Yes, Mom," Paul said. "I knew we had hidden ships. But this?" Reeves smiled. "This is just Luna Base. We have 7 more bases this size across the solar system." She led him to a ship larger than the others. Its black hull absorbed light, making it hard to see its true size. The name UES Defiance was painted on its side in small white letters. "Your new post, Lieutenant Commander Winters." Paul looked at her in surprise. "Lieutenant Commander. Field promotion. You're now second in command of our newest flagship." She handed him a badge. "Report to Captain Singh in 1 hour." As Reeves walked away, Paul stared at the massive ship. Just 45 years ago, humans thought they were alone in the universe. Then NASA found something on Mars, an abandoned alien outpost with technology beyond human understanding. World leaders kept it secret. Scientists studied the alien tech. Engineers learned to copy it. Generals planned for the day aliens would come looking for their lost base. They built shipyards in asteroids, on moons, and in the clouds of gas giants, places no one would think to look. Now that day had come. The Zorak Empire had found Earth, and they expected an easy conquest. Inside the Defiance, Paul met his new captain. Naveen Singh was a tall man with dark eyes that missed nothing. "Winters, good. Follow me to the bridge," Singh said without smiling. The bridge was a large room with screens showing space all around them. People worked at stations checking systems and plotting courses. "Meet your bridge crew," Singh said. Tactical Officer Maria Delgado, Communications Specialist Kevin Wright, and our AI Coordinator Dr. Alan Fisher. Each person nodded as their name was called. Paul noticed they all looked young, but had serious eyes. "The Zorak think they're coming to collect tribute," Singh said. "Instead, they'll find us waiting. This ship has technology they can't imagine. Our gravitic drives let us move faster than light without jump points. Our quantum shields can stop almost any weapon. Our plasma cannons can cut through their strongest armor." Dr. Fisher added, "And most importantly, our stealth systems make us invisible until we choose to be seen." Paul looked around at his new crew. "When do we start?" "Now," Singh said. "Take your station. We launch in 20 minutes. Across the solar system, the same scene played out in hundreds of bases. Ships that had never seen real battle prepared to defend Earth. Pilots ran to their fighters. Gunners checked their weapons. Engineers pushed their engines to full power. In orbit around Earth, a small station was prepared. It looked simple and harmless, the perfect place for the Zorak to collect their tribute. Admiral Mercer stood in the UES Defiance's communication room, recording a message for all fleet commanders. "Today we fight not just for Earth," he said. "We fight for every world suffering under the Empire's control. The Zorak demand tribute through fear. Today we show them something they've never seen before, a world that fights back." President Garner addressed Earth's people, finally revealing the truth about the hidden fleet and the coming battle. Most were shocked, then proud. In deep space, Zorak ships approached. Their sensors showed a helpless planet with minimal defenses. They expected to find tribute. They would find war instead. The war room inside Cheyenne Mountain buzzed with activity as Colonel Diana Russell moved digital markers across a star map. She was Earth's top military strategist, known for thinking 10 steps ahead of her enemies. "The Zorak will approach from this vector," she said, pointing to a line on the map. "They'll expect to see our public fleet of 200 ships near Earth. What they won't see is our main force hidden behind the moon and our attack groups waiting near Mars and Jupiter." Admiral Mercer studied the plan. "How do we counter their numbers?" "With surprise and better technology." Colonel Russell highlighted several points. "We hit them from multiple angles. Our ships can jump without using the fixed gates they rely on. will appear inside their formations where their big guns can't fire without hitting their own ships. Meanwhile, on a small moon orbiting Saturn, Intelligence Officer Jack Martinez removed his stealth suit. He had just returned from infiltrating the Zhoruk forward base. His face was tired, but his eyes were bright with success. "I got what we needed," he told his team, plugging the small device into their computer. The Zhoruk fleet positions, their attack plans, and most importantly, their shield frequencies. Back on the UES Defiance, Lieutenant Commander Winters worked with his bridge crew to prepare for battle. The massive ship hummed with power as systems came online. "What's your background?" Hall asked Maria Delgado as she calibrated the weapons. 5 years in the secret fleet," she replied without looking up. "Before that, I was a physics professor." "You?" "Fighter pilot in the public fleet," Paul said. "I only learned about Phoenix Protocol last month." Maria finally looked at him. "Most people don't know what we've been building out here. The Zhoruk are in for a surprise." On the other side of the bridge, Dr. Alan Fisher worked with the ship's AI systems. "The quantum computers are processing Zhoruk battle data. They fought 86 species before us, and each time they used the same tactics. They don't expect resistance." Communications specialist Kevin Wright listened to his headset. "I'm picking up Zhoruk communications. Their ambassador fleet is almost here." Captain Singh entered the bridge. "Battle stations, stealth systems at maximum." The Defiance disappeared from view as its advanced technology bent light around the hull. 500,000 other ships did the same across the solar system. Earth's fleet became invisible, waiting. On Earth, people watched the news with fear and hope. President Garner had told them everything about the alien outpost on Mars, the secret fleet, and the true nature of the Zhoruk demands. "For nearly 50 years, we prepared for this day," she had said in her address. "Today, we stand not as victims, but as defenders of freedom." In Earth orbit, the empty meeting station waited. It had cargo bays for the tribute, but they held nothing but air. The Zhoruk ships appeared at the edge of the solar system. 20 large vessels with strange angular designs. They moved with confidence toward Earth, their sensors showing only the small public fleet in defensive positions. On the Zhoruk command ship, High Commander Vexlor looked at the blue planet with satisfaction. "Another easy conquest," he told his officers. "They always surrender when they see our ships." His second-in-command bowed. "The tribute station is ahead, Commander. They are hailing us." "Put them on screen," Vexlor ordered. President Garner's face appeared. She looked appropriately nervous. "High Commander, welcome to Earth. We are ready to discuss the tribute terms." Vexlor smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. "There is nothing to discuss. You will give what we demand." "Of course," President Garner said. "Please send your delegation to our station. We have prepared everything." As the Zhoruk delegation shuttle approached the station, Admiral Mercer gave the order they had been waiting for. "Operation Thunderbolt begins now." High Commander Vexlor stepped onto Earth's orbital station with 4 armed guards. His tall gray body towered over the empty tribute bays. He looked around, his 4 eyes narrowing. "Where is the tribute?" he demanded. "And where are your leaders?" A hologram of President Garner appeared before him. "I'm speaking to you remotely for safety reasons, Commander." Vexlor growled. "You waste my time. Where are Earth's resources?" "About that," the President said calmly, "we've decided to make a counteroffer." The Zhoruk commander laughed, a harsh sound like metal scraping. "You are not in a position to make offers." "Look outside," President Garner suggested. Vexlor walked to the viewport. At first he saw only his small fleet and the blackness of space. Then, suddenly, ships began to appear. Not a few dozen, but hundreds. Then thousands. Then hundreds of thousands. Earth's hidden fleet dropped their stealth fields all at once. Ships of all sizes surrounded the Zhoruk vessels, weapons ready. The Defiance appeared closest to the station, its massive guns pointed at Vexlor's command ship. "What is this?" Vexlor hissed. Admiral Mercer's face replaced the president's in the hologram. This is Earth's answer to your tribute demand. On the bridge of the Defiance, Lieutenant Commander Winters watched the Jorik ships on the main screen. They looked small and vulnerable now, surrounded by Earth's massive fleet. They're powering up weapons, Maria reported from her tactical station. Captain Singh nodded. Hold positions. Let the Admiral speak first. On the station, Vexlor's face showed shock for the first time. Impossible. Our scouts reported you had only 200 ships. We let your scouts see what we wanted them to see, Admiral Mercer explained. Now, here's our counteroffer. The Jorik Empire will immediately stop demanding tribute from Earth and any other civilization. Vexlor's upper eyes blinked rapidly. You don't understand what you're doing. The Empire controls 700 star systems. This fleet is nothing compared to our full might. Then call your full might, Admiral Mercer said. We'll be waiting. Vexlor turned to his guards. Return to the ship. Now. As the Jorik hurried back to their shuttle, Kevin picked up urgent communications from his station on the Defiance. Sir, they're sending a distress signal to their hidden bases in our system. As expected, Captain Singh said. Colonel Russell's plan is working perfectly. Admiral Mercer's voice came through the ship's speakers. All ships, execute Phase 2. Take out their forward bases. The Earth fleet split into attack groups. The Defiance led a squadron toward Europa, Jupiter's moon, where intelligence had discovered a hidden Jorik monitoring station. Weapons hot, Maria said, her fingers moving across her console. The Defiance fired its main guns. Streams of blue plasma shot across space, hitting the moon's surface. The hidden Jorik base appeared as its stealth field failed. Landing party ready, Paul reported. Launch, ordered Captain Singh. Paul led a team of 20 soldiers in fast attack shuttles toward the base. Their mission was to capture Jorik intelligence before the aliens could destroy it. Across the solar system, similar attacks hit Jorik bases on Mars, Venus, and several asteroids. The aliens had been watching Earth for years, but now their network was being dismantled. On Earth's station, Vexlor reached his shuttle just as the first explosions lit up space. His ships were trying to fight back, but they were overwhelmed by Earth's superior numbers and technology. This isn't over, he snarled into his communicator. The full might of the Jorik Empire will crush your world to dust. As his shuttle raced back to his command ship, Earth's fleet opened fire. 3 Jorik vessels exploded immediately. The others began emergency jumps out of the system. Let the command ship escape, Admiral Mercer ordered all fleet captains. We want them to call for reinforcements. Kevin Wright's voice was tense as he reported from his communication station. Sir, I've intercepted their transmission. The main Jorik fleet has been summoned. They'll be here in 3 weeks. Captain Singh looked at his bridge crew. Then we have 3 weeks to prepare for the real battle. 3 weeks passed quickly. Earth used that time to strengthen defenses and prepare for the coming battle. Every ship was checked, every weapon loaded, every shield tested. Paul Winters stood on the bridge of the Defiance, watching Saturn's rings glow in the sunlight. Earth's fleet had spread through the outer solar system, ready to meet the Jorik away from populated areas. They're coming, Kevin Wright said from his communication station. His voice was steady, but his hands shook slightly. The space around Saturn rippled as if water had been disturbed. Then ships began to appear. Not just a few hundred, but thousands. The main Jorik fleet had arrived. Count 80,000 enemy ships, Maria reported, her eyes on the tactical display. Their weapons are powering up. Captain Singh's face showed no fear. All crew to battle stations. Activate quantum shields. Admiral Mercer's voice came through to all Earth ships. This is the moment we've prepared for our entire lives. Today we fight not just for Earth, but for every world under Jorik control. Begin attack pattern Omega. Earth's fleet moved with perfect coordination. 500,000 ships against 80,000 should have been an easy victory. but the Jorik ships were larger and more heavily armed. Their crews had fought hundreds of battles across the galaxy. The Defiance led the first attack group directly toward the Jorik command ship. Blue plasma fire streaked through space as both sides opened fire. Shields holding at 90%, Dr. Fisher reported as the ship shook from a direct hit. "Return fire," Captain Singh ordered. "Target their main weapons." Paul worked with Maria to coordinate their attacks. The Defiance's guns blazed, cutting through a Jorik cruiser's armor. But for every Jorik ship they destroyed, Earth lost ships too. The space around Saturn became a graveyard of broken vessels and floating debris. "We've lost contact with Alpha Group," Kevin said as another screen went dark. The battle had been raging for 6 hours when it happened. A massive Jorik battleship appeared directly above the Defiance, firing all weapons at once. "Evasive maneuvers," Captain Singh shouted. The ship lurched sideways, but not fast enough. The bridge exploded in fire and sparks. Paul was thrown across the room. When he looked up, Captain Singh was on the floor, not moving. "Direct hit to our main engines," Maria reported, blood running down her face. "Shields failing." Paul took command. "Abandon ship. Everyone to escape pods now." He helped Dr. Fisher carry the unconscious captain toward the escape section. Behind them, the Defiance was breaking apart. "What about you?" Maria asked as Paul pushed her into an escape pod. "I'll take the last pod," he promised. "Go now." Paul made sure everyone got off the ship, then ran to the final escape pod. As he launched away from the Defiance, he watched his ship explode in a ball of blue fire. His pod tumbled through the battlefield. Through the small window, he saw the massive space battle continuing around him. Earth ships using their superior speed and agility. Jorik vessels relying on raw power and numbers. Suddenly, all communications went silent. The quantum network that connected Earth's fleet had been compromised. "Emergency Protocol Omega," came Colonel Russell's voice on the backup radio system. "All ships, break into strike teams. Repeat, break into strike teams." Paul's pod drifted for hours before it was picked up by a medical frigate named UES Hope. As medics treated his burns and broken arm, he asked about the battle. "It's a stalemate," said the ship's captain, Lisa Bennett. "We've destroyed half their fleet, but they've taken out almost a third of ours." Paul looked out at the battle still raging around Saturn. "What now?" Captain Bennett's face was grim but determined. Dr. Fisher sent a message before the Defiance was lost. He found a weakness in their shield harmonics. "We might have a chance if we can exploit it." Through the viewport, Paul watched as Earth's remaining ships regrouped for another attack. The battle for humanity's future was far from over. 2 days after the battle at Saturn, something unexpected happened. The Jorik sent a message requesting talks. Admiral Mercer, who had survived the battle in his damaged flagship, was suspicious. "They've never negotiated with any species before," he told President Garner over a secure channel. "Why start now?" "Because we hurt them," the president replied. "We're the first civilization to stand up to them and survive." The meeting was set for neutral ground, Alpha Base on the far side of the moon. Admiral Mercer would represent Earth. Grand Admiral Zexan, leader of the Jorik fleet, would speak for the Empire. Paul Winters watched the preparations from the medical bay of the UES Hope. His arm was healing, but the loss of the Defiance and many of its crew still hurt worse than any physical wound. Lieutenant Commander, Captain Lisa Bennett entered the room. "How are you feeling?" "Ready to get back to the fight," Paul said, sitting up in his bed. Captain Bennett handed him a tablet. "Good, because we have new orders. You're being assigned to the UES Phoenix." Paul looked at the screen and saw a ship even larger than the Defiance. "I'm not sure I deserve another command after losing the Defiance." "You got your crew out safely. That counts for a lot," Bennett said. "Besides, this isn't just a new assignment. We have a special mission. While Admiral Mercer prepared for his meeting with the Zorak, intelligence officer Jack Martinez made a surprising discovery. He had been analyzing Zorak communications when he found encrypted messages that weren't in the main Zorak language. "They're not alone out there," he told Colonel Russell. "Some of their communications are from other species, ones they've conquered." One name kept appearing in the messages: Callidians. They seemed to be a species forced to serve in the Zorak fleet. More importantly, they were secretly talking about rebellion. On the moon, Admiral Mercer faced Grand Admiral Zexhan across a small table. The Zorak leader was even larger than Commander Vexlor, with battle scars across his gray face. "You fight well for a young species," Zexhan said. "No one has destroyed so many of our ships in centuries." "We're not interested in compliments," Admiral Mercer replied. "We want the Zorak to leave our system and end your tribute demands across the galaxy." Zexhan made a sound like rough laughter. "Ambitious, very ambitious, but the Empire has ruled for 10,000 years. We do not change our ways for one stubborn planet." As they talked, Earth's scientists studied the Zorak ships using long-range scanners. They confirmed what Dr. Fisher had discovered: a weakness in the Zorak shield harmonics that could be exploited. Back on Earth, President Garner met with her advisors. Admiral Mercer thinks the Zorak are stalling. They've called for reinforcements from deeper in their territory. Ambassador Gregory Patel, Earth's top diplomat, spoke up. "Then we need allies too. Martinez's discovery about the Callidians gives us an opportunity." The president nodded. "Make contact. Offer them freedom if they help us." On the UES Phoenix, Paul Winters met his new crew. The ship was fresh from a hidden shipyard in the asteroid belt, loaded with Earth's best technology. "Your mission is critical," Captain Bennett told him. She would be commanding the Phoenix while Paul served as her second-in-command. "We're taking this ship to the edge of our system to make contact with the Callidians." Paul looked at the star map showing their destination. "That's deep in Zorak territory. How do we get there undetected?" Bennett smiled. "Our new stealth systems are even better than the Defiance's. The Zorak won't see us until it's too late." As Earth prepared for diplomacy on one front and secret missions on another, the Zorak were making their own plans. Grand Admiral Zexhan had no interest in peace. He was gathering forces for a massive strike against Earth itself. What neither side fully understood yet was that the coming conflict would change the galaxy forever. The UES Phoenix moved silently through deep space, its stealth systems hiding it from Zorak sensors. 2 weeks had passed since they left Earth. Now they orbited a small moon in a system the Zorak used as a refueling station. Paul Winters stood on the bridge beside Captain Bennett, watching the Callidian ships on the main screen. The aliens looked almost like large insects, with 4 arms and hard outer shells. "They've received our message," Communications Officer Ryan Grant reported. "They're responding." A Callidian face appeared on screen. It had large compound eyes and mandibles that clicked as it spoke. "You are from Earth, the world that fights the Zorak." "Yes," Captain Bennett replied. "We've come to offer an alliance." The Callidians seemed to consider this. "The Zorak enslaved our people 500 years ago. We have waited for a chance to break free." "That chance is now," Paul said. "Earth has proven the Zorak can be defeated, but we need help." While the Phoenix made contact with the Callidians, Ambassador Gregory Patel traveled to 6 other worlds that had shown signs of resistance against the Empire. In each place, he made the same offer: join Earth against the Zorak, and together they would end the tribute system forever. On Earth, Admiral Mercer coordinated the rebuilding of the fleet. The battle at Saturn had damaged many ships, but the hidden shipyards worked day and night to repair them. "We've modified our weapons based on Dr. Fisher's discovery," Colonel Russell told him. "The new frequency will disrupt their shield harmonics completely." President Garner addressed the Planetary Defense Council. "The Zorak talks have broken down, as expected. Our intelligence shows they're gathering their forces for a direct attack on Earth, but they don't know about our new allies." 3 days later, the Phoenix returned to Earth space with amazing news. Not just the Callidians, but 6 other species had agreed to join the fight. They called themselves the Free Systems Alliance. Ambassador Patel's face showed tired satisfaction. Together, we now have over 800,000 ships. The Callidians alone brought 200,000 vessels that had been hidden from the Jorek for centuries. Paul Winters spent more time with Captain Lisa Bennett as they prepared for the final battle. What began as professional respect had grown into something more. One night, as they looked at Earth from the Phoenix's observation deck, she took his hand. "Do you think we'll win?" she asked quietly. Paul thought about everything he had seen since the Jorek first appeared. "Yes," he said, "not because we have more ships now, but because we're fighting for freedom." The Jorek fight only for power. 2 days later, the Alliance fleet gathered in formation around Mars. Ships of 7 different species, all united against the empire that had oppressed them. Admiral Mercer sent a final message to all ships. "Today we fight not just for our worlds, but for a new future. A galaxy where no empire demands tribute from free people, victory or death." The waiting was the hardest part. Intelligence said the Jorek would attack Earth directly, bypassing the outer system defenses. Hours passed with no sign of the enemy. Then, suddenly, space rippled as hundreds of jump points opened near Earth. The Jorek had arrived with their remaining fleet, ready to punish the planet that had dared to resist. But they found more than Earth's defenses waiting. As they moved toward the planet, the Alliance fleet appeared behind them, using the new jump drive technology that allowed them to appear directly within the Jorek formation. "They're trapped between us and Earth's defense grid," Captain Bennett said with satisfaction. Paul nodded as he looked at the tactical display. "Now we end this." The final battle for the fate of Earth and countless other worlds began as Alliance ships opened fire from all sides. There would be no retreat for either side this time. Space around Earth lit up with weapons fire as the greatest battle in galactic history raged. Alliance ships hit the Jorek fleet from behind, while Earth's defense grid fired from the front. Caught in this deadly crossfire, Jorek ships exploded by the hundreds. "Their formation is breaking," Maria Delgado reported from her station on the Phoenix. She had survived the Defiance's destruction and joined Paul's new crew. But the Jorek fought with desperate fury. Their remaining ships concentrated fire on Admiral Mercer's flagship, the UES Valor. Despite its advanced shields, the Valor began to break apart under the assault. "We've found it," Dr. Fisher announced, looking up from his console. "The Jorek command structure. It's not a planet as we thought. It's a massive space station they call the Throne. Our Callidian allies just sent us the coordinates." Captain Bennett turned to Paul. "This is our chance. If we can capture their central command, we can end this war." Paul nodded. "I'll lead the boarding party." The Phoenix broke away from the main battle, its engines pushing to maximum speed. 3 other Alliance ships followed. Their mission: reach the Throne and capture the Jorek Emperor. Behind them, Admiral Mercer made his final decision. The Valor was lost, but a massive Jorek dreadnought was preparing to fire on Earth directly. "All crew to escape pods," he ordered before turning to his helmsman. "Set collision course with the dreadnought." The Valor, engines flaring one last time, crashed into the Jorek vessel. Both ships vanished in a blinding explosion that took out 3 nearby enemy cruisers as well. The Phoenix reached the coordinates for the Throne after 2 short jumps. The space station was enormous, bigger than Earth's moon, with spikes extending in all directions. Approaching docking bay, Paul reported as he suited up with his boarding team. 20 soldiers, heavily armed. Captain Bennett touched his arm before he left. "Come back in one piece, Lieutenant Commander." "I will," he promised. The boarding party fought their way through the Throne's corridors. Jorek guards defended every intersection, but they seemed surprised by the direct assault. No one had ever dared attack their central command before. After an hour of fighting, Paul and 6 surviving team members reached the central chamber. They expected to find a fearsome Jorek war leader. Instead, they found something very different. In the center of the room, surrounded by machines and tubes, floated a small, withered creature. It looked ancient, its skin thin and gray, its eyes huge in its tiny face. "The Emperor," whispered one of Paul's team. The creature spoke, its voice surprisingly strong. "So the humans have come at last." Paul stepped forward. "Your empire is falling. Your fleet is destroyed." The Emperor made a sound like dry leaves rustling. "Many empires have risen and fallen in my lifetime. The Zorak built ours on fear, not strength. Few ever resist us. When they do, like you, our illusion of power breaks." Back at Earth, the battle turned decisively. When news spread that the throne had been captured, the remaining Zorak ships surrendered. 1 year later, Paul stood beside Captain Bennett, now his wife. As they watched the ceremony on a neutral world called Harmony, representatives from 200 planets gathered to sign the charter of the new United Systems Federation. President Garner spoke to the assembled delegates. "From the ashes of empire, we build not another empire, but a federation of equals. No more tribute, no more subjugation, only cooperation and mutual respect." The Kalidians and other former Zorak subjects had taken their freedom and joined as founding members. Even some Zorak worlds, tired of endless war, had joined the Federation. Later that day, Paul and Lisa visited the memorial built to honor those lost in the war. Admiral Mercer's name was carved in the center stone, along with his final message: "We came not to conquer, but to free. Not for Earth alone, but for all who wish to determine their own destiny." Paul looked up at the stars visible through the memorial's clear dome. The galaxy was at peace for the first time in 10,000 years, all because Earth had refused to submit when the Galactic Empire demanded tribute.